Every July, I watch the same thing happen up and down my street. Gardeners pull out their tired plants, stack up their empty pots, and start talking about next spring. I used to do the exact same thing, until one summer changed everything I thought I knew about growing food. Welcome back to Roots and Garden Secrets. What I am about to share might be the most valuable thing you hear all season. Here is the truth experienced gardeners quietly hold on to. July is not the end of the growing season. It is actually the most powerful planting window of the entire year. The soil is warm, seeds germinate faster than any other time, and the best harvests are still ahead of you. And here is what makes fall gardening truly special. When temperatures begin to drop, cold hardy vegetables convert stored starches into sugars to protect their cells from freezing. That is why fall-grown carrots taste sweeter, kale loses its bitterness, and Brussels sprouts go from sharp to rich and nutty. Today I am walking you through 13 of the best vegetables to plant right now in July. Some give you a harvest in just a few weeks. Some reach their peak flavor only after the first frost, and one of them is a crop most gardeners never think to plant this time of year. If you find this helpful, hit the like button and subscribe to Roots and Garden Secrets. Now let's get growing. Let's start with the crops that reward you fastest, because nothing builds confidence in July planting like pulling something fresh from the garden in just a few weeks. Number 1. Beans. Most gardeners plant beans once in spring, get one big harvest, and consider the job done. But that is not how experienced growers think about it. The real secret is succession planting. Every 7 to 10 days, sow a short row. That simple rhythm creates a continuous cycle of fresh, tender pods right up until the first frost, instead of one overwhelming harvest all at once. Here is something most people do not realize. Beans actually perform better when planted in July than in May. When temperatures rise above 85 degrees Fahrenheit, bean flowers drop and pollination fails. Spring-planted beans often struggle through the hottest weeks. But July-planted beans flower in late August and early September, when the heat has already softened, giving you more consistent pods and better yields. Beans are also nitrogen fixers, leaving the bed richer for whatever you plant next. Plant about 2 inches deep. Surface soil in midsummer dries out within hours, but at that depth moisture stays stable long enough for germination. For pole varieties, Blue Lake is dependable. For bush beans, look for Jade, Provider, or Strike. Count back 65 days from your average first frost date before putting in your final planting of the season. Number 2. Cucumbers. If your spring cucumbers were wiped out by beetles or bacterial wilt, July gives you a genuine second chance, and sometimes that second planting outperforms the first. The heaviest waves of cucumber beetles tend to peak in early summer. By midsummer, that pressure often eases, and fresh plants going into warm, clean soil can take off quickly. After planting, apply a layer of mulch around the base of each plant to keep moisture consistent and prevent the root zone from overheating. Moisture consistency is everything with cucumbers. One dry spell while the plant is carrying fruit can make every cucumber bitter. That bitterness is not bad luck. It is a stress signal from the plant. Keep water steady, harvest often, and consider growing on a trellis. Trellised cucumbers hang clean, grow straighter, and dry off faster after rain, which reduces disease pressure significantly. Good varieties include Marketmore, Sumter, Dasher 2, and Bush Pickle for smaller spaces. Number 3. Zucchini. By July, many of the zucchini plants you put in back in May are already showing their age. Powdery mildew is spreading across the leaves. Squash vine borers may have already done their damage underground. A fresh July planting lets you move past all of that and get back to harvesting. 2 things will make this planting more successful than your first. Always direct sow from seed. Zucchini does not tolerate root disturbance, so transplanting almost always sets the plant back. And give each plant more space than feels necessary. Good airflow is your best defense against powdery mildew later in the season. For companion planting, grow nasturtiums nearby as a trap crop to draw aphids and squash bugs away from your zucchini, and plant marigolds around the bed to suppress soil nematodes. Harvest young and often. Each time you pick, the plant is signaled to keep producing. Black Beauty, Early Summer Crookneck, and Spineless Beauty are all solid choices. Number 4. Radishes. If you want the fastest result on this entire list, radishes are your answer. Depending on the variety, You can go from seed to harvest in as little as 25 to 40 days. Rather than sowing a big batch all at once, stagger small rows every 1 to 2 weeks, through July and into August, so you always have something ready to pull. Here is a trick worth using. Sow radish seeds in the same row as your carrots. They germinate quickly. Mark the row so you can see exactly where to weed, and are pulled long before the carrots need the space. They also act as a trap crop for flea beetles. And if summer heat prevents the roots from sizing up, do not give up on the plant. Let it flower. Those young seed pods are crisp, mildly spicy, and delicious raw or lightly sautéed, and the flowers bring in bees and beneficial insects. For July sowing, German Giant, Fireball, and Perfecto are all worth trying. Now we move into what I consider the most rewarding group of July plantings. These are the vegetables that do not just survive the transition into fall, they actually reach their best flavor because of it. Number 5. Carrots. Here is something I want you to hold on to. When you plant carrots in July, you are not growing them for summer. You are growing them for fall. Carrots planted in midsummer use the warm soil to build strong roots quickly. Then, when October arrives and night temperatures begin to drop, something remarkable happens. Cold triggers enzymes inside the root that convert stored starches into glucose and fructose. The result is a carrot that tastes noticeably sweeter, deeper, and more complex than anything you would pull in August. The biggest challenge is germination. Carrot seeds are tiny, and the top layer of soil can dry out within a couple of hours of watering. After sowing, lay a piece of burlap or a flat board directly over the row. This traps moisture and keeps the soil surface from baking under the sun. Check it daily and remove the cover the moment seedlings appear. Mixing carrot seeds with a small amount of dry sand before sowing also helps distribute them more evenly and reduces thinning later. Once seedlings are up, thin to about 1 inch apart. Nantes is my top pick for sweetness. Bolero and Ruby Pack hold up well in storage. Little Fingers matures faster for an earlier harvest. And leaving your carrots in the ground through a few light frosts does not hurt them. It makes them better. Number 6. Beets. Beets give you more than you expect from a single planting. Most people only think about the root, but the leaves are just as valuable. Even when plants are young, you can pick the tender outer leaves and use them exactly like spinach or Swiss chard, while the root keeps developing underground without any real setback. That is a genuine 2-for-1 harvest. What looks like a single beet seed is actually a cluster of seeds containing natural compounds that slow germination. Sow them straight into dry July soil, and you will often get uneven results. The fix is simple. Soak your beet seeds in water for 24 hours before planting. This softens the outer coating and rinses away germination inhibitors. The difference in sprouting evenness is significant. Once seedlings are up, thin to about 2 inches apart, and do not throw away those thinnings. The baby leaves are tender, mild, and delicious. Like carrots, beets also sweeten after frost, their earthy flavor becoming more balanced as temperatures cool. Detroit Dark Red is the classic dependable choice, and Early Wonder sizes up a little faster. Number 7. Kale. Of everything on this list, kale may be the most misunderstood vegetable in the American garden. Many people try it in midsummer, find it tough and bitter, and write it off entirely. But here is what they did not know. They ate it at the wrong time. Kale is not a summer vegetable. It is a fall vegetable that happens to be planted in summer. When cold weather arrives, kale undergoes 2 changes simultaneously. It reduces production of glucosinolates, the compounds responsible for that sharp, bitter edge, while increasing its sugar content to protect cells from freezing. The result after a few good frosts is leaves that are softer, sweeter, and genuinely enjoyable. There is also a timing advantage most gardeners are not aware of. Kale seeds prefer soil temperatures above 75 degrees Fahrenheit to germinate well. But the plant itself grows and develops best when air temperatures fall between 55 and 75 degrees. July satisfies both conditions at once. Sow now. Let the warm soil handle germination, and the plant will be exactly where it needs to be when fall arrives. Pick outer leaves regularly, and the center keeps producing new growth for months. Lacinato Dinosaur Kale, Blue Curled Scotch, and Premier are all excellent choices. Number 8. Swiss Chard. If there is one leafy green built for the full arc of the season, it is Swiss chard. Lettuce bolts in heat. Spinach sends up a seed stalk after just a few warm days. But Swiss chard simply keeps growing through summer heat and into fall cold without skipping a beat. That reliability is genuinely rare, and it is why I always have a bed of chard going from July onward. Take the larger outer leaves and leave the center intact. A few days later, new leaves have already taken their place, and that cycle repeats well into fall. For color alongside your harvest, Bright Lights produces stems in red, yellow, orange, and pink that honestly look more like a flower bed than a vegetable patch. For pure productivity, Ford Hook Giant is the one to reach for. Number 9. Spinach. Here is the crop most gardeners completely overlook in July, and in my opinion, that is a real missed opportunity. Spinach is one of the most beloved leafy greens in American kitchens, but conventional wisdom says it is strictly a spring crop. That is only half the story. Time your sowing to the last week of July, roughly between the 20th and the 31st. The soil is still warm enough for reliable germination, but as August and September arrive and temperatures ease off, that is exactly when spinach enters its most vigorous growing phase. Leaf production accelerates, and you end up with a lush, productive bed right when most of the garden is winding down. One critical detail: spinach seeds need soil temperatures below 70 degrees Fahrenheit to germinate well. In late July, surface soil often runs warmer than that. Water the bed thoroughly an hour or two before sowing to bring the temperature down, then sow and water gently again. Once seedlings reach about 2 to 3 inches tall, apply a light layer of mulch to hold moisture and suppress weeds. Growing on the north side of taller plants or under a 30 to 50% shade cloth extends your harvest window. Use the cut and come again approach to keep the bed producing. Bloomsdale Long-Standing, Space, and Tyee are my top recommendations for late July sowing. Fall-grown spinach is also genuinely more nutritious than what you find at the grocery store, with higher concentrations of iron, calcium, and vitamin K. Growing your own is one of the most practical things you can do for your family's table. We are now entering the group that requires the most planning and the most patience, but these are also the crops that deliver the most satisfaction when you finally harvest them. If you time them right in July, fall will reward you in ways that spring simply cannot. Number 10. Broccoli. The most common mistake I see with broccoli is planting it with the goal of harvesting in summer. Broccoli is a cool season vegetable through and through. When it forms heads during hot days, those heads come out small, loose, and often bitter. But when the plant matures in cool fall air, the heads are tight, dense, and genuinely sweet. That is the version of broccoli worth growing. Do not direct sow broccoli seeds into the garden right now. High soil temperatures in midsummer can prevent germination entirely. Instead, start seeds in trays indoors or in a shaded spot outside. After about 3 weeks, when seedlings are sturdy, transplant them into the garden on a cloudy day or in the late afternoon to avoid transplant stress. Count back 10 to 12 weeks from your expected first frost date and add 2 to 3 weeks as a buffer. That calculation tells you exactly when your seedlings need to go in the ground. For an extended harvest, consider sprouting varieties like broccolini. After the main head is cut, these plants push out multiple side shoots you can harvest again and again for several more weeks. Green Magic, Pac-Man, and Avenger are all reliable choices for a midsummer start. Number 11. Cabbage. There is a reason cabbage has been one of the most valued crops in American homesteading history, and it comes down to one word: storage. A well-grown head of fall cabbage, harvested firm and dry, can keep for several months in a cool space between 32 and 40 degrees Fahrenheit. That is not just a vegetable. That is food security through the winter months. Like broccoli, cabbage is at its best when it forms heads in cool weather. Plants started in July spend the remaining summer weeks building roots and leaves. Then, as temperatures drop in early fall, they close up into firm, dense heads. Light frost does not damage them. It actually improves them, reducing sharpness and increasing natural sugars, giving fall cabbage a sweetness and crispness that midsummer heads cannot match. Champion and Top Bunch are both excellent choices for a July planting. Number 12. Brussels sprouts. I will be honest with you. Brussels sprouts test a gardener's patience more than almost anything else. You will harvest cucumbers, zucchini, and radishes while your Brussels sprouts plants still look like nothing more than a tall stalk with big leaves. But do not be discouraged. This crop operates on its own timeline, and the payoff is worth every week of waiting. Brussels sprouts need between 80 and 100 days to fully develop, which means July is not just a good time to plant them. It is the only time that makes sense for most American gardeners. Start too late, and the sprouts never size up before hard frost shuts everything down. The real transformation happens after the first frost arrives. Sprouts that tasted slightly sharp become nutty, rich, and naturally sweet. Many experienced gardeners intentionally leave the plants standing after frost, knowing each additional cold spell deepens the flavor further. For companion planting, grow thyme nearby. Research from university extension programs has confirmed that thyme significantly reduces egg laying by the white cabbage moth, one of the most damaging pests on brassicas. Give each plant 18 to 24 inches of space for good airflow. Long Island, Gustus, TB, and Dagon are all dependable varieties. Number 13. Lettuce. Here is something worth clearing up. Lettuce does not hate July. Lettuce hates excessive heat. Understanding that difference opens up a growing window most gardeners never take advantage of. Create a cooler microclimate with a shade cloth at 50 to 70% coverage. Or position your lettuce on the north side of taller plants and let their natural shadow do the work. Now here is the detail that trips up more people than almost any other mistake in seed starting. Lettuce seeds need light to germinate. Cover them with no more than 1/4 of an inch of soil. Burying them deeper is the single most common reason July lettuce fails to come up. Once your seeds are in, use the cut and come again method, harvesting outer leaves regularly while the center keeps producing. Buttercrunch, Summertime, Skyphos, and Salanova Butterhead are the varieties that hold up best when temperatures are still warm. Before we wrap up, I want to share 2 things that will make every crop on this list perform better, and they are often the last things gardeners think about. The first is soil preparation. Before planting anything in July, refresh your bed with 1 to 2 inches of finished compost worked into the top few inches of soil. Every planting cycle draws nutrients from the ground, and that needs to be replenished. If you can get worm castings, work them in alongside the compost. Worm castings contain roughly 5 times the nitrogen, 7 times the phosphorus, and 10 times the potassium of ordinary topsoil, releasing those nutrients slowly in a form roots can absorb immediately. Healthy soil is dark in color, loose and crumbly in texture, and has a clean, earthy smell. If yours feels dense or has a sour odor, it needs amendment before you plant. The second is companion planting. Plant marigolds throughout your vegetable beds. Their roots release compounds that suppress soil nematodes and deter a wide range of above-ground pests. Nasturtiums near your zucchini and cucumbers act as a trap crop, pulling aphids and squash bugs onto the flowers instead of your vegetables. Plant thyme near your brassicas to discourage cabbage moths. And along the edges of any bed, sweet alyssum is one of the most powerful allies you can have. Its small white flowers attract parasitic wasps, natural predators that hunt and destroy caterpillars, aphids, and other common pests. When you plant sweet alyssum, you are inviting a natural pest control team to work your garden for free all season long. So let's bring everything together. The 13 vegetables we covered today fall into 3 natural groups, each serving a different purpose in your fall garden. The first group gives you fast results. Beans, cucumbers, zucchini, and radishes can all be producing within just a few weeks. The second group rewards patience with flavor. Carrots, beets, kale, Swiss chard, and spinach grow steadily through late summer and reach their peak after temperatures drop. These are the vegetables that get better with every cold night. The third group asks the most of you, but delivers the most in return. Broccoli, cabbage, and Brussels sprouts need time and careful planning. But when you harvest them in truly cool fall weather, you will understand immediately why experienced gardeners always make room for them. Here is what I have come to believe after years of gardening. July is not the end of anything. It is the beginning of the best harvests of the year. Fewer pests, more comfortable weather to work in, and vegetables that taste better than anything the heat of summer can produce. I would love to know which of these 13 crops you are planning to plant this July. Drop it in the comments below. Your answer might inspire someone else to finally pick up a seed packet and get started. If you found this useful, please hit the like button and subscribe to Roots and Garden Secrets. Thank you for spending this time with me today. I wish you a rich harvest, a full table, and a garden that keeps giving long after your neighbors have called it a season. I will see you in the next video.